2014 was a year that gave us a lot of great movies, and movies that were not only standouts of the year, but some that personally have become my favorite movies of all time. However, with a year of great movies also come the movies that are not so great, and for that, we have the top 10 worst or the top down worst, whatever it may be, just the most horrible movies of 2014. And I personally am not one of those people who think that, oh, I saw this movie, I have to, gouge my eyes out. It's like, no, it's a movie, you can walk out. But at the same time, when you pay $10 to go see a movie and it's not good, you're definitely going to get ticked off. And when you really look at it, you have people who are able to make movies for a living. People who, while others have to work a 9 to 5, they have the amazing privilege to be able to have movies. And to me, the worst movies shouldn't be the ones that, were like disappointments. You have people saying that Interstellar, The Interview are the worst movies of the year. No, they also shouldn't be like the movies that come out, straight to Redbox, because those are really the worst movies of the year. But it's the ones that actually get attention, the ones that actually have a big budget or have potential with directors or actors and actually have the opportunity because they know people will go see these movies, and instead they give you poop like this. Starting with Blended, which if you saw my review for this, I didn't think it was that bad, but the moment that I actually step back and start realizing the point of this movie and start actually going, hey, that movie wasn't that bad. But what age are we living in? What country are we living in where we think that a movie that's considered, hey, not bad, that was watchable, is okay when we're paying $10 a ticket to go see this? When we're giving this man the opportunity to make movies and make money off of things that aren't good, that are just watchable, that is insane. On top of that, you also have some really, really bad performances. The kids were terrible in this movie, and it's also really just Adam Sandler going on vacation, as we've seen him do with other movies. Like, he literally goes on vacation to places like Hawaii or Africa, and then they make a movie while they're on vacation, and we go pay to watch it? Heck no. Number 9 was actually a movie that I liked, because sometimes you get a movie that's so bad. So bad it's good, and that is The Identical. I mean, this movie, it is terrible. It's really bad. You have like a 45-year-old man playing like a 19-year-old guy. Like, this dude is as old as Ray Liotta, and Ray Liotta's supposed to still be his father. It's hilarious, and it's just so bad that it's good. I recommend that. I wasn't able to put it into my top 10, so obviously I wasn't gonna put it in there, but I needed to mention it, and it really is bad. But this is the only one out of the list I would say definitely go watch this movie. It's hilarious. At number 8, we have Winter's Tale, which was supposed to be this sort of sci-fi romance, like old school romance. I don't know what this thing was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an adaptation from a book, and it was from the people who helped make I Am Legend, which is why Will Smith makes a cameo in this movie of playing Satan. But it was just horrible. There's literally a point in this movie where they're looking for a girl, and all they draw is like a random stick figure, and they're like, we're looking for this person. They're like, oh yeah, they walked over there. This movie was just terrible in the way that I have no idea how they try to adapt this movie, but there were missing parts. Some of the things just really didn't make sense, and I wouldn't say that it's as awkward as The Awkward Moment, which I also thought was bad, but this movie just had points where it just wasn't going anywhere, and that's why Winter's Tale is number 8. At number 7, there's The Legend of Hercules, which if you've ever wanted to see a movie that wasn't finished yet still got released, that is The Legend of Hercules. And where it wants to be a wannabe 300 and just like Gladiator or something, and the movie was just terrible. Horrible acting, horrible everything. I mean, I guess it'll make you laugh, but really it just looks so bad. But it's even worse than I Frankenstein. I didn't even put I Frankenstein on the list either, but that one was also another one that just looked pretty bad. At number 6 is a movie that gives me hope that I can be an editor in Hollywood, and that is 3 Days to Kill. A horrible wannabe comeback from Kevin Costner that wasn't really a comeback for Kevin Costner, as Draft Day wasn't also a comeback, or Jack Ryan also wasn't a comeback for Kevin Costner, so he didn't really have a good year. But in this movie, it was just bad the way that they try to set up the story of, oh, I just got injected, I got 3 days to kill, but I really want to spend time with my daughter. So the scenes that I spent time with my daughter, it's like the editor fell asleep while he was doing this. If you've ever seen a movie where the person is saying dialogue, yet their mouths are not moving, it should definitely tick you off, because it shows you how lazy these people are, when there are other people who would wish to have an editing job, and it's just like, these people are getting paid real money, and they're doing a horrible job, and this movie was just so sloppily put together. That's why it's on top 10.
Why don't you say hello to my daughter?
Hello. I am a Guido.
At number 5 is not a film. It's a video that got released into theaters called A Haunted House 2. I also didn't like the first one that was released, but the only reason that this one isn't higher on the list is because there were moments that did make me laugh. I won't deny that. There are moments that were pretty funny in this movie, but at the same time, you do not pay $10 to go see Marlon Wayans do it with a wannabe Annabelle doll. It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. And number 4 is Transformers Age of Extinction. Now, there really isn't anything more to say about this movie since everyone on the internet knows how bad it is, but the reason that it's number 4 and not 1 is because there are 3 other movies that are worse than this. Worse than the film that practically said, hey, you know, pedophilia, considering that this girl's under 18, oh, that's completely okay. The fact that the little girl, or not a little girl, she's supposed to be like 17, however old she is, didn't want to walk away from the spaceship that was going to kill her and instead walked into the spaceship, really idiotic stuff like that, is because there are 3 movies that are worse than this film. Starting with number 3. Now again, these next 3 are movies that are so bad, there was just nothing that I liked about them. Literally not one thing. I mean, chuckles because of how bad it was. But number 3 was Left Behind, a remake that nobody asked for with Nicolas Cage. And this movie has this scene in it.
Did Dad tell you about my game?
Are you kidding me? You're all we talked about. He said that you were the greatest baseball player in the whole world. And you know what?
What?
He's right.
I love you.
I missed you, buddy.
Let's look at that again. Do you see what they did there? Incredible. Just very incredible. This movie is really, really bad. Spoiler alert, it ends with them having to land the plane and the daughter of Nicolas Cage, the daughter, one single woman, in like 5 minutes creating a runway for a plane. The daughter creates a runway for the plane. And then they end the movie with saying this is only the beginning. Oh dear. And number 2 was a movie that I was really hyped up for because it was from the writer of Training Day. It was from the director who made End of Watch. And it's like, this movie's going to be really good and it's going to have a really good performance from Arnold Schwarzenegger, or at least be a really good action movie. And it was none of them. It was terrible, and that is Sabotage. And it's like, this movie had some of the worst dialogue, probably the worst dialogue, even worse than The Identical, because that guy wasn't an actor. Here, they're supposed to be actors. And let me tell you, the girl from The Killing, I don't really know the actress's name, hasn't really deserved to learn her name, does a horrible job in this movie. One of the most obnoxious characters I've seen ever, and this movie was so disappointing considering that this guy made Fury later on in the year and that was okay, but this movie was just terrible. But alas, number 1, and number 1 goes to a film called Brick Mansions. And Brick Mansions is a remake of a French film called District 13. Nothing to do with Hunger Games. No, it was actually a really good movie having to do with parkour. This was the unwanted remake starring, rest in peace, Paul Walker, who, regardless of him being a very nice guy, never really picked smart roles. And this was one of the worst roles, one of the worst movies, one of the worst remakes, one of the worst everything, with not only having something that I've argued that, you know, rappers should stop doing, and that's quoting their lines from past movies, Ice Cube saying today was a good day or coming straight out of Compton, having probably the worst scenario of that, with RZA literally saying this.
You let all those people die over money? That's low even for you.
Nigga, where I come from, cash rule everything around.
Bring it the money, dollar bill, yo.
Know that one, right?
On top of that, you have a scene on a bus where they start shooting up the bus and then they just get away. How do you get away with that? You also have the highlight, the biggest movie scene of the year, and just watch.
Close enough now?
Did you see what happened there? The man sets it up. Let's analyze the scene. The man sets up his shotgun and he shoots them. Boom. He then turns around, you know, cocks it in I'd say a couple of seconds. These two, one of them who, again, a little interesting fact, this guy was supposed to have all of his, you know, lines dubbed by Vin Diesel. I don't know how true that is, but doesn't really matter. But this guy's supposed to know some parkour. I don't know how he goes, what, freaking 7 stories up, and then Paul Walker, who wasn't supposed to be that good at parkour, does it as well, and they just, how did they get up there so fast, and now they beat him up? How? And those were the worst movies of the year in my opinion. However, I am curious your worst picks of this year, what they were. Definitely let me know down below in the comments which were the movies that really got you mad, the ones that you thought were just terribly put together. Not so much the boring ones or the disappointments that still have likable things in it, but the ones that were just complete utter garbage. Let me know down in the comments. We can talk and rant about it, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.